Emotions are part of human biology. They are chemicals that help regulate our minds and bodies, assisting us to cope with the complexities of making decisions, interacting with people, and finding our way through life. We feel emotions to help us pay attention, focus our attention, and motivate us to action. While sometimes they're confusing, emotions are part of us, so we might as well learn to use them well. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and in this video we're going to tell you 6 amazing facts about human emotions that will surprise you. But before we start, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content on psychology. So before further ado, let's dive in. Number 1. Emotions are electrochemical signals that flow through us in an unending cycle. They are released in our brains in response to our perceptions about the world. We feel them all the time, which makes us wonder why we learned how to divide one fraction by another and all about Henry VIII beheading his wives, but basically nothing about something so critical to our everyday health and well-being. But anyway, emotions are released in our brain and flow all throughout our body all the time. They also are produced in our bodies and go to our brains. Number 2. There are 8 basic emotions. The 8 basic emotions are joy, sadness, fear, disgust, surprise, anticipation, anger, and trust. There are different models of which are the basic ones, but this comes from the scientist named Robert Plutchik, who also created a wheel of emotions to illustrate these 8 emotions in a compelling way. It shows visually the dynamism of emotions, like what happens to an emotion when it's left unchecked, and what you get when you combine 2 emotions, like anticipation and joy. It's pretty interesting stuff, especially when you know how to interpret the wheel. Number 3. Emotions are neutral. That is to say, some emotions are not inherently good and others are bad. It may seem this way since, for example, joy seems to be a clear winner over sadness. We mean, who wants to be sad? But there are 2 problems with this way of thinking. The first problem is that joy and sadness have more in common than we think. Joy means we get something we care about. Sadness means we lose something we care about. So they are really 2 sides of the same need, and we couldn't have one without the other. And the second problem is that every emotion is simply a signal, delivering a message. Even difficult emotions like fear, anger, or sadness are serving an important function. Number 4. Emotions function to guide us to survive and thrive. Emotions focus our attention and motivate us through a specific course of action. Each emotion has a purpose. Take anger, for example. Anger is a signal that our path is blocked. It focuses our attention on the threat and motivates a response of fighting or pushing through the obstacles. It can be used destructively, of course, but it also gives us the energy to find solutions to pressing problems. And what about another emotion like joy? Joy focuses our attention on an opportunity and motivates us to do more of whatever we are doing. We feel joy when we experience meaning and connection, and the purpose of the emotion is to tell us that those are good things, which we should seek out. Number 5. Emotions are contagious. Feelings spread between people like a virus, even if we are not paying attention to emotions. Whether we are in a group or with one other person, we can catch both positive and negative emotions. The evolutionary basis of this is simple. Humans have only survived and thrived in groups. We are social creatures, and because of that, we have a tendency to pick up on each other's emotional states. Think about it this way. If you see fear on someone's face, you are more likely to survive if you react quickly. If your own fear response is activated instantaneously, it could be the difference between getting eaten by that tiger your friend just saw or getting away. And it's not just fear. We are constantly sending and picking up emotional messages through a number of mechanisms, including voice inflection, facial expressions, posture, and specific behavioral patterns. It's an incredibly important form of communication that we all partake in, even if we don't realize it. It's so deeply wired that we unknowingly imitate the slowness of old people, which is one of my all-time favorite facts about emotions. A study by Facebook and Cornell University found that emotional contagion even happens on social media. We are deeply wired. Emotions are absorbed in the body in about 6 seconds. Each burst of emotion chemicals from the time it's produced in the hypothalamus to the time it's completely broken down and absorbed lasts about 6 seconds. If we are feeling something for longer than 6 seconds, we are at some level choosing to recreate and refuel those feelings. Sometimes that's good. If the tiger is still chasing you, those fear chemicals are helping save your life. Sometimes it's not. But recognizing what emotion we are feeling, evaluating its purpose relative to our circumstances, and deciding whether to recreate it is what emotional intelligence is all about. Hope you guys liked the video and learned something new. We'll see you in the next video.